Assalamualaikum. Hello, everybody. This is Caliph and welcome to another episode of the Caliph podcast. This episode is called Future of Series and it's brought to you by Yayasan MENDAKI. The objective is for students to gain first-hand industry insights, changes to the work and economic landscape, and the necessary technical and 21st century skills to thrive in the future economy from industry professionals. My guest here today is Muhammad Adil. He's a pilot by profession, and we will be talking about the future of aviation. Adil, Assalamualaikum. Welcome to the Caliph podcast.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Just a bit of introduction about myself. So I've got about 10 years experience in the industry. I started out in the industry as an engineer, an aerospace engineer working on aircraft engines. Then I moved on towards commercial flying. So I'm an airline pilot with an airline in Singapore today. Education-wise, I have a bachelor's degree in aeronautical engineering and a master's degree in aviation and aeronautics. So I'm quite excited to be here today to share with you guys who are keen to find out where we are today and what the future holds for all of us in aviation.
Okay, thank you. That's great. All right. So you mentioned that you have before this, trying to become a pilot, you have an engineering background. So maybe share with us a bit about your background in engineering and how do you transition yourself from being an engineer to become a pilot?
Right. So for me, my passion in this industry goes way back. So even before coming out as a professional, so from my school days as well. And up to today, actually, it is my personal goal in this career to learn as much as I can about the industry. So back then, when I graduated, with my background with my technical background in engineering, I thought it would be a good fit to look at what the landscape had to offer in Singapore with regards to aerospace engineering. So today you can see Singapore is largely a MRO, maintenance, repair and overhaul sector with regards to engineering. And that's where I learned it. I started out my career, and it was a fulfilling journey. I learned a lot about that aspect of the industry, and there was this eagerness to try to experience what it's like in the front line. When I say front line, at the airline itself. So where I could apply myself most naturally to be at the as an airline pilot. And so here I am today.
Great. Okay, so first question from the students. They like to ask, what makes a great pilot?
I would categorize a pilot that all of us aviators aspire to be. So in my opinion, and from my observation and my experience as well, all of us aspire to be an aviator who has a very high sense of professionalism, and this underpins the nature of the job, the nature of how the pilot conducts his job, and the mission every day, or why we work every day, is to ensure that we transport whatever it is, passengers, goods, cargo, safely and efficiently from a origin to a destination, and that's what drives the job every day. And when you speak about how to categorize an aviator that all of us aspire to, I would say it boils down to the professionalism. And if you can dig deeper, why this sense of professionalism is so important. Like I say, it is a job which requires you to manage safety and efficiency, and at the end of the day, for you to become a professional or to carry out these responsibilities with a high level of professionalism, it will boil down, I would say, to the passion for the job.
Mm.
And again, in my opinion, I think when you talk about passion for this job, it's quite unique in the sense that different people, different aspects of the job will resonate differently with different people. And pilots find their passion in their job, and this underpins their strong sense of professionalism in the way they conduct the job. So to an aspiring aviator like the students who are asking this question, I would say, this high level of professionalism can only be attained with this desire to grow. This desire to grow is driven by your passion for the job at hand. So there's a lot about this job to be passionate about. I think that's what drives a lot of us to become better aviators, to aspire to become the professional aviators that we are meant to be.
I see. So you link with high level of professionalism with passion first.
Yeah.
All right. So for the students, how do they develop that passion slowly? Yeah, to reach to where you are right now of high level of professionalism.
So it all about like I mentioned beforehand, it all boils down to the passion. And how do you find this? What is this passion about? Everyone says they're passionate, right? So what drives you? And I would say that there's a lot of aspects of this job. It's a very dynamic job. There's a lot of aspects of the job which resonates differently with different people, and it brings out the passion in their passion for that aspect of the job, which makes them enjoy the job day to day. So for someone on the outside, a student, for example, I was there myself, looking in. We are all fascinated by one aspect, right? So finding that passion would be unique to each and every one of you. And all I can say is this industry is really, really interesting. It's a lot to learn, a lot to see, a lot to grow. And if you bother to find out more yourself, you bother to learn more yourself, you will find out what you can be passionate about. Yeah. So passion is very subjective at the end of the day. And all I can say is that this job, as multifaceted as it is, has a lot of different areas to be passionate about. So yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay, so next question will be for education wise, right? So is there like what does it take to be a pilot in terms of education? And for yourself? Yeah.
I again, I think different airlines will have their different requirements. So I'm not in a position to speak generally in terms of educational background. Rather, I would say that your keenness or your desire about the industry is what would set you up for a lasting career as an airline pilot. So regardless of your educational background, right, I think it will boil down to that desire to learn, to grow, to continue to expose yourself, and throughout this very long career. So the learning is ongoing. It starts when you're young. So you find out what you're passionate about. You bring that passion into industry, and on the job you'll refine it. You will refine it, and you'll find yourself along the way, along this journey. So regardless of your education background, what you were studying, there's a lot to apply yourself to, that you can apply yourself to in this job.
Next question will be, what are the pros and cons of being a pilot?
I would frame that question slightly differently, more like, what are the learning points I would think that you can gain from this career, both from the positives and the challenges of the career, right? We look at the job first, okay? So that from a technical point of view, you gain a very specialized skill set, and the conditions are right. This skill set is valuable globally.
Mhm.
Also, as part of the job, as part of the nature of the job, there's a lot of soft skills that you actually pick up along the way.
Yeah.
And what's unique, in my opinion, about this job is that the environment in which you hone these skills cannot be replicated in many other environments.
Right.
Many environments. Just for example, things like decision making, teamwork. These are very generic soft skills, but again, the environment in which you're exposed to, you're expected to learn and you're expected to hone these skills are unique, and that in itself brings out a lot of growth in you over the career. So these are in terms of the technical and the soft skills that you can expect to learn from. Are big positives from this career. And moving on to the challenges, like as with every career, there's always going to be challenges.
Yep.
I would say the biggest challenge to our career is actually the volatility of the industry.
Right.
So at the end of the day, throughout volatility, which we become accustomed to, at the end of the day, we pride ourselves, or we are able to face the challenges squarely. We pride ourselves in becoming resilient in our adaptability and the ability to emerge stronger. So this has been historically proven as an industry, right, over the years with various setbacks. But overall, the industry always grows, and
Yep.
and everyone in the industry also grows, as well as the pilots as well.
Mhm.
So the ability to adapt, to change, to apply yourself, I think we draw a lot of strength from that, and that can only be honed from the environment that we work in. So it's pretty unique, and it's a good starting point for lots of the young professionals.
As a pilot, right? How do you upgrade yourself? Yeah. So from a junior pilot to all the way up, how do you upgrade yourself in terms of I don't know, skill set or what have you?
I would say there's a lot of avenues for growth, right? In this career, it's a for many of us, it's a long-term career. So
Right.
the avenues of growth are there, and the learning is really it's from day one as a trainee and all the way to the day you retire. There's always something, and that in itself, I would say, is continuous growth, as you can see. So to provide some insight into your question, I would say that what you expect, or rather your progression or your growth, would be in terms of personal growth, right, over your career. And this is the embodiment of striving to become a better aviator over time. Yeah.
All right. So you spoke about a bit about that this industry is always growing, right? And maybe you can give us a bit of insights of what do you see the future of aviation.
Right now, we are in a pretty unique situation. So, I mean, we cannot discount the fact that the effects of COVID-19 will be here to stay for a while.
Yep.
So we look at the industry as pre-COVID-19, right, where we were reaching really, we were on a really positive trajectory of growth and expansion all around the world. And now with the factor of COVID-19 coming in, we expect to be able to get back to pre-COVID-19 levels hopefully, right, someday. And personally, I am confident that we can get back to pre-COVID-19 levels. But the caveat is that it will take time,
Yes.
right? And this is because unfortunately, COVID-19 has profound effects on the global economy as well. Yeah, so that will delay any sort of a smooth recovery for the airlines, for the aviation industry. But if we take a step back, and in my opinion, and we look at it in first principles, the need or the demand for global interconnectivity will always be there.
Right. Correct.
Right? And it may be changed, it may be altered, or it may be diminished, but the pent-up demand will be there. Diminished in terms of the ability, or rather the spending power of customers in future. All this will affect how it plays out. But if you look at it again in first principles, this demand for global interconnectivity will be there.
Yep.
In what shape or form, however diminished, but it will be there. And over time, we will get back to pre-COVID-19 levels. If you ask me, therefore, in the near future, throughout this recovery phase, I think, personally, I think that it will drive a lot of innovation.
Yep.
We can really see it every day as airlines try to come up with new strategies to maintain profitable. But it will continue to drive innovation in the industry. And I hope that we will see a lot more innovation to come. And to be honest, I think that is down to the youth, the young minds, and that is their future to shape. You see, so this is an opportunity, or rather, we always see the cup as being half full, right? So this is an opportunity, rather, to drive this innovation to come out as an industry stronger. And I believe there will be a lot more, efforts to reduce costs, to reduce emissions, and maybe even change the way we operate, maybe even change the way we fly, right? So in the near to the long term future, I believe that's the way that's the way forward for the industry, and it will be driven by the ideas and the dreams that the youth will have about this industry that they hopefully will be passionate about as well. So I can say the only thing that remains constant in this sea of change would be our passion for aviation, passion as an aviator.
Yep.
So regardless of situation, you'll be able to apply yourself and adapt accordingly down the line. And so my that's my take, my personal view on how we will be going forward, the impact it will have on this profession, and how the youth can also and it will shape the perspective of the youth to contribute to the industry in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So you spoke about innovation. What are the current innovation in terms of aviation, and what do you see? Do you think we will have robots to replace pilots, or or maybe reduce pilots to one, something like that? So yeah, maybe what's your prediction like in terms of innovation?
It's a very good question, because you're absolutely right. There has been rather a lot of research into many areas about changing the way we fly, changing the way we operate, and all this is geared. It was back then geared towards reducing the cost of the industry. And this research is being undertaken by big players in the industry as well. So yeah, and in the States, in Europe as well. So if you ask me, what are the innovations now? There are plenty. I would say there are plenty. Not only with regards to the operation of the aircraft, but I would say all across the aircraft from nose to tail, people are looking at effectively redesigning the aircraft, incremental designs, full redesigns. Everything is on the table, and I think this period will drive the innovation further. With regards to your point about having robots to take over our jobs, um, all I can say is that in my opinion, um, it's not possible with the current level of technology because the nature of the job is too dynamic, right? So as of now, if you ask me, I would not be confident having a machine take over
Yep.
fully as of
Yep.
today.
Yep.
But in the years to come, you never know. You see, and if our goal is to improve safety and efficiency of the industry, and if that and if a future innovation or a system can prove that, right? What's stopping it, right? What's stopping it? So you don't say no to these things, right? You don't say no, and in fact, I think as much innovation as we can have to this industry will have better prospects for the industry as a whole in the long run.
What are the best tips you can give for us who wants to pursue pilot as a career?
Mm, I think, like I say, it's important to find your passion. Yeah, and you have to look at your strengths, your weaknesses, and you need to find out if the job and the career is suitable for you. The only way to find out is to keep updated, learn about the industry as much as you can. Yeah, find the interest, keep yourself updated, talk to people, speak to people who are in the industry, get a better idea, of day-to-day life, of what the job entails, so on and so forth. How do you think you can apply yourself in the future as well? And all these things are important considerations when you are deciding on a career. This is like I said, it's a long-term career, and um, it is worth finding out about yourself, doing some self-discovery, and seeing whether you think you can apply yourself to this career. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with that. What you said, as in like the aviation industry is also huge. So like for yourself, you venture into engineering first, right? Then after that, you transit to become a pilot. So I think that's the best thing for the youth or those who wants to pursue themselves as a pilot to like say get more knowledge, learn about the aviation industry. It doesn't have to be pilot itself, but maybe other areas around the aviation, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I took my time, finding out what I'm passionate about, and I think people should do that so that they are in it for the long haul. They continue to find to be driven at what they do, and I think passion is very important for young people like us actually, uh, and for the students as well. So I think it's important that they take their time, they really understand, find out more, find their passion. Yeah, because at the end of the day, that is the only constant in this industry. That's what drives you as a professional, and to be able to apply yourself, regardless of the outcome of the industry.
Okay, Ken. We come to the end of the podcast. Any last parting words that you like to say?
Mm. Parting words. In my limited knowledge, I hope that I've given some insight to the younger minds, and I'm happy to speak to you personally if you want to find out more. And I hope this this gives you a starting point to think about and about the industry. It's a really fantastic job. It's a wonderful industry to be in, and I think there's a big part of play, a big part for each and one of you to play in this industry. in my opinion.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate you coming up, as in going online for this, especially in this, pandemic times. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.